And I'm Courtney Poston. I also took a trip to the concourse, but this time to ask fans what they think the final score is going to be for tonight's game. Lauren, UConn has been on their A game this season with only 3 conference losses and an undefeated March Madness stretch. On Monday night, the Huskies took down the Boilermakers 75-60 in Phoenix, Arizona, making UConn the 8th team ever to go back-to-back in the NCAA March Madness tournament. I talked to Hunter Dickinson and asked him how Kansas would prepare for this Gonzaga team after such an emotional win just 2 days ago.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully, we can be a little bit more under control and be able to execute our plays out there. I mean, that's why I think they're so successful, is because they throw so many different things at you. It's kind of hard to prepare for it.
And who do you have winning your bracket this year?
I got UConn.
I had Kentucky, but they already lost, so my bracket's done.
I have Houston.
I have UConn. Iowa State, baby. UConn.
Who do you have winning it all this year?
North Carolina, go Heels.
So I've got Kansas and Arizona.
The women arrived to the Big 12 Media Days ranked 3rd in the preseason conference poll. However, for the men, this expectation is nothing new. Head coach Bill Self made it clear that with the injection of new transfers to the roster, this is just a new frontier on his journey as head coach.
Set 4 was another close one with both teams going point for point nearly the entire set. However, Kansas slipped behind and Purdue capitalized on it, ending the set 25-19 Purdue. Last but not least, set number 5. Let me tell you, I've never seen such an exciting 5th set of volleyball. Let me set the scene. The score is 14-13. Purdue secured the point for the win with a hit left unresponded, and Kansas decides to challenge the call as out of bounds. It gets looked over and they leave it in favor of Kansas. So now it's 14-14, the crowd is on their feet, the girls are hyped, and the game continues. When Iowa State beats Kansas at home, they win big. It'll be important for KU to break up any momentum that the Cyclones generate to avoid another road game disaster. The Big 12 hosts some competitive teams, multiple of which the Cyclones have already defeated. Iowa State is coming off of an 11-point win over Kansas State on Wednesday night, and in addition to that, they have knocked down Houston, Oklahoma State, and TCU. Taman Lipsey leads the team in points, rebounds, assists, and steals for Iowa State, so the Kansas defense needs to keep the ball out of his hands. To kick things off, we have exciting news from the women's basketball team. Kansas picked up their second 5-star prospect, Keely Parks, announced yesterday by head coach Brandon Schneider. The 5'11 guard is from Norman, Oklahoma, and was named the Gatorade Oklahoma Girls Basketball Player of the Year. Thankfully for KU fans, Texas is now without Marcus Carr and Sturgebury Rice. Both graduated to the pros. Carr and Rice each had 17 points in that championship game. Not so fortunate for KU fans, however, is the return of leading scorer from that game, big man Dylan Dessou. Dessou and transfer guard Max A. Smith have been quite the scoring duo for the Longhorns this year, averaging a combined 34 points. Yesterday, women's tennis played 2 matches at home against St. Louis University and Texas, reigning victorious with a 4-0 victory over St. Louis before falling 4-2 to number 7 Texas. Against the Billikens, the Jayhawks snagged the double point to gain an early 1-0 lead. In singles play, Kansas won on courts 1, 2, and 3 to obtain a 4-0 sweep. Well, the Jayhawks had 3 players selected to the all-tournament team: senior catcher Jake English, senior right fielder Lenny Ashby, and redshirt junior third baseman Michael Brooks. English went an impressive 6 for 11 with a home run, which pushed his total to 4 home runs in 7 games. Ashby hit 2 home runs and drove in 3 runners, and Brooks batted .500 with 2 doubles and 4 RBIs. In more NFL news, earlier this morning, the New York Giants have parted ways with quarterback Daniel Jones as they maneuver a challenging season. Speaking of, nothing is better than celebrating Thanksgiving by sitting down at the table to enjoy a delicious meal while also screaming at the TV because your favorite quarterback just got sacked. Let's head over to Eli and take a look at what games we can expect to be played next Thursday. The number 1 seeded Jayhawks take on the number 8 seeded Razorbacks tomorrow afternoon in Des Moines. This is the first time the two teams have matched up this year, and we took it inside the locker rooms to see what the players had to say and how they're preparing themselves for this matchup.
Who plays harder? And I feel like our bigs could take advantage of that moment.
We don't control the glass tomorrow, we'll struggle. So I'd say rebounding will definitely be important.
For us, like defending when they're in transition.
However, a win is a win, and Kansas has bigger things to worry about. Speaking of which, let's fast forward to tonight and talk about the matchup against UConn. Tyler, what can you tell me? Thanks, Tyler. When the rivals go head-to-head, it's expected for that matchup to be a good one. But when it comes to the Sunflower Showdown, those expectations are even higher. Kansas and K-State have a deep-rooted rivalry with years and years of banter, and although Monday's matchup didn't end in favor of KU, it was definitely worth the watch. But in case you missed it, Lauren is here to break it down. Let's take a look. Tune in tonight to Playmakers KU on Instagram for live updates on the matchup against Manhattan. Now, let's head back to the studio for more from Tyler. For Playmakers, I'm Courtney Poston. Today's show is jam-packed, but first, Kansas announced its new partnership with Deloitte in hopes of navigating through the world of intercollegiate athletics. Some of the benefits include external partnerships evaluations, revenue-generating opportunities, financial planning, and more. With the ever-changing rules in athletics, this collaboration puts the Jayhawks in a stable position moving forward. Shortstop Collier Cranford was the player of Tuesday's game, going 3 for 4 at the plate with a double, a home run, 4 RBIs, 2 runs scored, and a walk. The home run marks his 4th of the season. Michael Brooks, on the other hand, extends his hitting streak to 18 games, the longest by a Jayhawk this season. Another impressive stat is that Kansas has tallied at least 8 runs in 8 of their last 9 ball games. Men's golfer Will King has had an impressive start for the Jayhawks so far with an 18-hole scoring average of 71.45 strokes in his 5 tournaments this year. Emily sat down with him earlier this week to speak on his golf journey and his time as a Jayhawk. Let's watch. The Playmakers live on and fight to see another day. That's all for this week's edition of Playmakers. Be sure to follow us on social media at PlaymakersKU to find all of our content on the sports world as we see it. Stay tuned for Run It Back on Mondays at 1 p.m. for all the game results happening over the weekend, and Good Morning KU Sports on Friday mornings at 10:30 for more sports talk. And remember, it's not about the game you played, but the plays you made. Rock chalk, and see you next time. Basketball season is officially underway, and the ladies of Allen Fieldhouse couldn't be more excited. As the women reflected on a WNIT championship, starting center Tiana Jackson beamed with confidence about not only the Kansas defense, but also her own abilities in the paint.
I am leading the conference in blocks, and I have broke my block record twice, and I'm going to break it again.
Now, obviously, today is going to be very sentimental. Kevin McCullough has had a remarkable season with the Jayhawks after 3 years with Texas Tech. Let's go ahead and take a peek into the night and see what he had to say. We're just over halfway through conference play, and Kansas is 4th out of 14 teams. Houston is currently ranked 1st, which is promising for the Jayhawks since they've already defeated them once. Coming in 2nd, we have Baylor with a record of 6-3. And speaking of Baylor, Allen Fieldhouse will play host to the Bears tomorrow at 5 p.m. But before that matchup tips off, ESPN is sending some special visitors to town. College Game Day is no stranger to Lawrence, and it's the 2nd year in a row that they've chosen to feature the KU versus Baylor matchup in Allen Fieldhouse. Last year, after College Game Day was in Lawrence, Kansas played their best game of the season and won 87-71. Tomorrow morning, doors open for students at 8:30 a.m., but student lineups will begin before then. Playmakers will be there getting coverage, so tune into our socials tomorrow morning. That's all I've got for you, but let's check in with Tyler to see what's next. This will be their first matchup against the Buffaloes since they've joined the Big 12, but Kansas and CU have a history. Lily Hennick, the floor is yours.